Something happened on January 11th, 2023, that the government never fully explained. At 7:30 in the morning, every single flight in the United States of America stopped. Not because of a storm. Not because of a terrorist attack. Not because of a war. Every flight in the country stopped because one government employee accidentally deleted a file. One file. On a computer system from the 1990s. And the entire American aviation network, 11,000 flights, froze. It was the first time every flight in America had been grounded since September 11th, 2001. And here is the part that should disturb you deeply. That was not the last time it happened. In 2025, just months ago, it happened again. And again. And again. Controllers lost radar, lost radio, lost all contact with planes in the sky. And the government's response each time? They said, the system is safe. This is Cities Explained. And today we are pulling back the curtain on the most dangerous technology failure hiding in plain sight, 35,000 feet above your head. Let's start with what is actually inside America's air traffic control system. Floppy disks. Not as a metaphor. Not as an exaggeration. Actual 8-inch floppy disks, the kind that were obsolete in the consumer market by 1990, are still physically used in FA systems today. Paper strips. Handwritten paper strips that controllers physically move across a board to track aircraft. In 2025. In America. And computers running Windows 95. The operating system from 1995, the year Toy Story came out, is still running inside facilities that control 45,000 flights every single day. Nick Daniels, the president of the National Air Traffic Controllers Association, said this in a live interview in 2025. And I quote, "We have computers, and I kid you not, today in 2025 that are based on Windows 95 and floppy disks." This is not a retired official speaking about the past. This is the current president of the union that represents the people keeping your plane in the air. The FAA itself admits that the average age of its control towers is 40 years old. Most radar systems are approaching 40 years old. Modern commercial jets like the Boeing 787 and Airbus A350 are flying supercomputers, processing thousands of data points per second. But the ground system guiding them uses technology that predates the internet. The cockpit is in 2025. The control tower is in 1975. And the Government Accountability Office, the independent watchdog of the U.S. government, found that 51 of the FAA's 138 critical systems are officially rated as unsustainable. Unsustainable. That is the government's own word for the technology keeping your plane separated from every other plane in the sky. Let's go back to January 11th, 2023. The system that failed that morning is called NOTAM. Notice to Air Missions. It is the system that sends pilots critical safety alerts, runway closures, airspace hazards, emergency warnings. Without NOTAM, pilots fly blind. They have no idea what dangers are ahead. And that morning, a contractor accidentally replaced one file with another during routine maintenance. That single mistake killed the entire system overnight. By 7:30 a.m., the FAA had no choice. They ordered every airline to stop. No departures, anywhere in the United States. Over 10,000 flights were delayed or canceled. Millions of passengers stranded. Billions of dollars in economic damage. All because of one deleted file. On a 30-year-old computer system. That the FAA already knew needed replacing. A CNN source described the NOTAM system's core operating system as having, quote, the heart of an 89-year-old man. The planned update for that system? At least 6 more years away. The FAA requested just $29 million to fix it. For context, that is less than the cost of a single commercial aircraft. To fix the system that keeps all commercial aircraft safe. You might think, okay, 2023 was a wake-up call. Surely they fixed it. They did not fix it. On April 28, 2025, at Newark Liberty International Airport, controllers guiding planes into one of the busiest airspaces in the world lost everything. Radar screens went dark. Radio contact cut out. For 90 seconds, controllers could not see planes, could not talk to pilots. Planes were in the sky. Controllers were blind. For 90 seconds, nobody knew where anyone was. The trauma was so severe that 5 air traffic controllers immediately took 45-day trauma leave after that single incident. 5 controllers gone, in a facility already critically understaffed. The result? Newark Airport descended into chaos for weeks. Hundreds of flights canceled daily. And then, before the dust had even settled, it happened again. May 9, 2025. Same airport. Radar went dark. Radio died. Another 90 seconds of blindness in one of the world's busiest flight corridors. Then again on May 11th. Then again on May 19th. 4 times in 3 weeks. The same airport. The same failure. The same ancient technology. And in Tampa in 2023, a veteran controller described losing all contact with 2 aircraft that were converging on a collision course. They managed to reach the pilot on the 3rd attempt. The 3rd attempt, while 2 planes headed toward each other at 500 miles per hour. An Indiana controller reported being unable to communicate with a plane making an emergency landing after a door blew off. A failure that, in their own words, literally put someone's life in danger. These are not hypothetical scenarios. These are documented incidents, filed in the NASA Aviation Safety Database, by the controllers themselves. Segment 5. The other crisis nobody talks about. U-angle, the human crisis layered on top of the tech crisis. But here is the layer of this story that makes the technology problem even more terrifying. America doesn't just have an equipment crisis. It has a people crisis. The U.S. currently has a shortage of over 3,000 air traffic controllers. Training a single controller takes 3 to 5 years. So even if the technology was fixed tomorrow, and it won't be, America doesn't have enough trained humans to run it safely. The controllers who are working are doing so under extreme stress, managing more flights than the system was designed for, with equipment that keeps failing, in facilities, with an average age of 40 years. And when incidents like Newark happen, when controllers experience 90 seconds of total blindness, with planes in the sky, some of them simply cannot continue. The FAA is losing controllers faster than it can train replacements. And the training program is so understaffed that the FAA Academy has a years-long backlog of trainees waiting to qualify. The Washington, D.C. area collision in January 2025, when an Army Black Hawk helicopter collided with an American Airlines regional jet, killing all 67 people on board, raised urgent new questions about staffing levels at Reagan National Airport that night. 67 people died. And investigators are still examining whether understaffed, overtaxed controllers contributed to the deadliest U.S. aviation disaster in years. Segment 6. Why nothing gets fixed. The villain reveal. Same formula as bridges and schools. Government inaction. So why, after decades of warnings, after the 2023 shutdown, after Newark falling apart in 2025, after 67 people dying in January of that same year, why is America still running its skies on floppy disks and Windows 95? The answer is money. And politics. And a bureaucratic system so slow it cannot respond to urgency. The FAA's modernization program, called NextGen, was launched in 2007. It was supposed to be complete by 2025. After 18 years and billions of dollars spent, the core systems that failed at Newark still run on technology from the 1980s. The program became a perfect example of government project failure, cost overruns, missed deadlines, bureaucratic infighting, and a rotating door of FAA administrators who each brought different priorities. The FAA has 138 critical technology systems. 51 are unsustainable. The agency needs at minimum $31 billion over 3 years to begin meaningful modernization. Congress has proposed $12.5 billion, which is less than half, spread over years, while the system fails in real time. And here is the political loophole at the heart of it all. Aviation failures are invisible until they aren't. A near miss at 35,000 feet doesn't make the news. A radar outage at 3 a.m. doesn't cause public outrage. Politicians only act when planes fall from the sky, and by then it is too late for the people who were on them. Let's go back to where we started, January 11th, 2023. Every flight in America grounded. Because of one deleted file, the government said it was an honest mistake, that the system was safe, that it wouldn't happen again. It happened 4 more times in 3 weeks in 2025. At the same airport, with the same ancient technology, and in January 2025, 67 people boarded flights they never returned from. Here is the reality. America handles 45,000 flights every single day. Nearly 3 million passengers in the air at any given moment. Guided by controllers using floppy disks, paper strips, computers running Windows 95, in towers with an average age of 40 years, with a staffing shortage of over 3,000 people, and a modernization program that has been running since 2007 and is still not finished. The next time you buckle your seatbelt, the system keeping your plane from colliding with the one next to it is the same system that failed in 2023. Failed in April 2025. Failed in May 2025. Multiple times. The FAA says the system is safe. They said the same thing about the bridges. I'll leave you with one question. Drop your answer in the comments. How many close calls does America need before it finally decides that 45,000 flights a day is too important to run on floppy disks? If this video opened your eyes, share it. Because the more people understand how fragile this system actually is, the harder it becomes to ignore. Subscribe to Cities Explained. Because the dangers hiding in plain sight are everywhere. See you in the next one.